Hello everybody, welcome back to Learning Biology, and this is the last video for chapter 18. 咁啊，最後一個部分啦。And this time I'm just going to talk about 2 purple pages，淨係講2頁左右嘅 purple pages 啦。Alright, so please now go to your book page 12， 12頁嗰度啦。So all the time purple pages are usually very important， 得唔得？ And look at this one, page 12嗰度啦。So let's look at the question first. 佢同你講咯，Amy and Mike 兩個人啦 ，they drink a glucose solution after fasting overnight. So all of these questions are very well asked， 係問得好好嘅。Alright, so please be careful. So they are having fasting overnight. Overnight 即係代表超過一晚啦，或者成晚都冇食過嘢啦。佢哋係 carry out 咗 fasting 咁嘅意思啦。Alright, so the whole night they are not eating anything. 好啦 ，the graph 然後就講咗乜嘢咧 ？First one here, look at the Y, it's telling you about the blood glucose level, and the next graph here is telling you the blood insulin level. OK， 好啦，然後咯，it also tell you the answer 就係話咩啊 ？Amy is diabetic, she has diabetes， 佢有糖尿病嘅 ，and Mike is non-diabetic and is a normal person， 佢係一個正常人嚟㗎。Alright, so first of all. Try not to look at the answers. And then first one, why is fasting necessary before this test? Okay, so fasting is necessary because both of them have to start at the same point. Okay, 兩個都要係同一時間開始㗎啦。Alright, for a same point, it does not mean at the same time. Of course, they need to drink the glucose at the same time. Also at 8 o'clock, 都應該係8點鐘嗰陣時飲呢樣嘢啦。But more than that, it's just like one very important process in junior science that is called destarch. Okay, so you learn this in Form 2 when we talk about the photosynthesis. 當我哋講一個 photosynthesis 嗰陣時咧 in Form 2 we've learned about this process called destarch. 咁 destarch 係啲咩嚟㗎？ That means to delete 嗰啲 starch in the plants. Alright， 喺個植物入邊本身有個 starch， we need to delete that. Okay， 好啦，所以咯 ，it's asking you why do we need to have fasting？ 點解需要咧 ？And this is only a 1 mark question. Okay, so don't think too much. 咁 that is to ensure that the increase in blood glucose level, okay, is due to drinking this glucose solution at 8 o'clock. 佢想證明一樣嘢就係、其實 the difference或者個 increase in your blood glucose level is not because one of them eats a cup noodles at 2 o'clock at night, right in the morning. 唔係想證明佢凌晨嗰陣時2點鐘食咗杯麵。Okay, so the thing is, it's trying to tell you that the difference in blood glucose level, 佢哋出現嗰個嘅差異啦，關於個嘅 blood glucose level is because 呢個 glucose solution 嘅。They drink at 8 o'clock. Okay, only this one. 好啦 the next part 咁就會問咯，所以啦 why is there a delay? So this one we've practiced this question in earlier videos. Okay, 點解會有一個 delay？ 點解會有一個延遲出現咗咧？After Mike, so when we focus on Mike, 我哋會睇睇 Mike 呢個位啦。So why is there a delay between your glucose intake? So he intake this glucose at 8 o'clock. 然後啦個 delay 係指乜嘢啊？係除咗個 intake 之外，就係個 peak of his blood glucose level. So this one and this one. So why is there this delay? Why is it not immediately? 點解唔係即刻發生嘅咧 ？Okay? So the reason is, just like what we have talked in the previous video 啦，咁就係原因就係 first of all, you need to digest them. Okay? But this is strange. Okay? Because glucose does not need to be digested. Okay? 正常嚟講glucose 係冇得再 digest 㗎啦。So therefore, we cannot say digest for 1 mark. What we need to say is that it needs time to reach the small intestine. And after it reaches the small intestine, it's going to be absorbed into the blood. Okay? And therefore, causing an increase in blood glucose level. Okay? So please be careful about this one. If it is a bowl of rice， 如果係一碗飯啦 ，if it's a loaf of bread 一條包嘅話啦 ，you can say that it takes time for these food to be digested。你需要消化呢啲嘅食物啦 ，and then for it to reach the small intestine and absorb into the blood，absorb the glucose into the blood， 得唔得 ？Okay， so be careful about this question as well。好啦 ，C is a difficult question. Why？ 首先聽完啦 ，we need to know this word， 自己讀一讀啦 ，account for。account for 即係代表係 explain。I've told you this a million times. Okay, it means explain 解釋啦。The higher fasting blood glucose level of Amy at 8 o'clock。好啦，佢就同你講呢一個嘅 blood glucose of Amy。Look at this line, and you can see that at 8 o'clock， 佢就想問啦 ，Why is this point so high? Okay, so what you need to answer is nothing about this line. Nothing. 你唔應該答話後邊條線㗎。However, you should tell me it's like what is happening in the front. 前邊嗰度究竟發生咗咩事咧 ？Okay, so why is Amy having a higher blood glucose level at 8 o'clock? 點解佢之前會有一個高啲嘅 blood glucose level 啊 ？The reason is because first of all， 前邊發生咩事 ？She is having fasting. When a person is having fasting, what will happen? That means the blood glucose level will decrease. Right？ 當佢唔食嘢嗰陣時 ，the blood glucose level decrease， 然後啦就 resulting in 一個 low blood glucose level 啦。而 low blood glucose level what will happen？ 佢會 stimulate 呢個 pancreas 去 release glycogen， 唔係 glycogen 啦 ，glucagon。Very good。OK， 佢會去 stimulate 呢個 pancreas 去 release glucagon。So what is the effect of glucagon？Glucagon 會做啲咩啊？就係會 convert 呢個 stored 嘅 glycogen into glucose。After that, glucose 就會 result in 佢會首先 release in your blood 啦，然後導致到 result in 一個 higher blood glucose level。Okay? However 啦 ，after it increased 咗呢個 blood glucose level 之後 ，the problem is since Amy is a diabetic， 佢係一個糖尿病人嚟㗎嘛 ，the blood glucose level，the glucose uptake is inefficient， 佢唔能夠有效咁樣拎翻走 take away the blood glucose。Therefore, at 8 o'clock, the blood glucose remains high. 佢唔能夠 maintain 咗一個 constant 嘅一個 blood glucose level 㗎，因為佢係一個 diabetic 嚟㗎。Okay, so this is also the reason why a diabetic need to monitor his or her blood glucose level from time to time. 得唔得 ？Okay, so this one is quite cheeky, right? Quite tricky because it is not asking you about what is happening on this line. It is asking you about what is happening before 8 o'clock. 究竟8點前發生緊啲咩事 But when you look at it more carefully, you can see that the question asked is not that difficult. 得唔得 Okay? So please be careful about this question. And the last one, deduce. Deduce 即係代表推斷啦，推斷。Which form of diabetes? 邊一種形態咧？係 type 1定係 type 2咯？係 insulin dependent 定係 non-insulin dependent 啊 ？Alright， 好啦 ，Amy 有嘅咧。Alright, so the answer is very easy, but this time we cannot focus on this diagram only. We need to look at this one as well. So as we can see, Amy, 無論 despite whether her blood glucose level 係 high or low， 高同低都好啦 ，you can see that Amy is having a very low insulin level. 佢個 insulin 永遠維持咁低㗎 ，so therefore she is having type 1嘅 diabetes. Okay? So type 1 is insulin dependent. You can also put down type 1 diabetes. Alright? 好啦，點解啊 ？Just like what I've said. So no matter Amy is having a high blood glucose level 啦，定係一個相對 lower 嘅一個 blood glucose level 啦，其實 Amy 係 cannot 佢嘅 insulin level 都係 low 㗎。OK？ 或者你可以講啦 ，show little changes 啦，永遠都係維持一個係好低嘅位置啦。The blood glucose level is very low and it doesn't react with 呢一個嘅 blood glucose level 㗎，得唔得？所以 show little changes 啦。And this shows that 佢個 pancreas 係 cannot produce 或者係 only produces little insulin， 係只能夠產生到少量 little 嘅 insulin 啦，甚至係 no insulin 嘅。Okay, but of course you can see that it's not zero, so it is producing a very small amount of insulin. Okay, So that's all for this page. Please be careful on the question types. 小心啲佢問你嘅題型啦。So let's move on to the next part. 去到下一個部分啦。So this one, just for a very quick distinguish between three types of people. 三種人。First one, non-diabetics， 即係代表 normal people 啦，正常人啦。The second one, patients， 一啲嘅病人啦 ，with insulin-dependent diabetes， 好，即係代表 they are type 1， 佢需要 insulin， they need insulin。And then non-insulin-dependent diabetes， 即係佢唔需要 insulin 嘅 ，insulin is not required。Alright, so first of all, let's look at this diagram on the left。望一望左手邊嗰幅圖先。So once again, this one is blood glucose level. So non-diabetic, you can see that it returns back to its normal level very quickly. 好快咁樣就返返一個正常水平啦。So for both diabetes 或者 both diabetics 啦，兩個唔同類型嘅糖尿病人啦。So you can see that it takes a much longer time to return to the normal level. 去返返正常水平咧都要一段時間㗎。Alright, so just know that this is not the normal level. This is not the normal level. This is the normal level. Okay? 好啦， so these two are quite similar, and based on this diagram only, based on 根據呢一幅圖嘅話啦 we cannot tell which one is type 1, which one is type 2. Okay? 係唔能夠根據呢一幅圖去講㗎。So we need to look at one more diagram, and this time it is the blood insulin level. Okay? 正常嚟講啦 normally for non-diabetic, normal person 啦，其實 it should be having a similar shape as 呢一個嘅 blood glucose level 㗎，應該係同佢嘅血糖水平同佢嘅 blood glucose level 咧係 similar 類似嘅形狀㗎。Okay? But this diagram is very important because it helps us distinguish 佢幫助我哋去分辨到 whether the patient has 一個 type 1係第一種啦，叫 insulin dependent 嘅 diabetes 啦，定係 type 2 non-insulin dependent diabetes 嘅。Okay? Because type 1佢係 cannot produce enough insulin， 所以見到個 insulin 係 remain 一個 low level。Type 2佢能夠 produce， he or she may produce 啦，咁樣講唔一定必然嘅， may produce enough insulin。然後啦 ，however 你會見到嘅就係 it doesn't help， 佢唔會幫到佢 because the body cells are insensitive， 係唔敏感嘅。Alright, so let's look at these following descriptions。This one is actually like a summary， 好似一個總結咁樣啫。So first one, normal people, non-diabetics。咁你見到啦 ，blood glucose level increase， 所以啦 ，therefore insulin level also increase。原因 reason very easy 啦，就因為 high blood glucose level 就會 stimulate your pancreas 去 release more insulin 啦。然之後咯 ，after that it will decrease。reason 因為 the effect of insulin。First one 佢會 stimulate liver cell, muscle cell convert 呢啲嘅 excess。OK，put down the word excess here。excess 嘅 glucose 啦 into glycogen。好啦 ，this first one as storage 作為儲備啦。The second one 就係佢會 stimulate body cell 去 consume more glucose， 去消耗多啲嘅 glucose for respiration。Please put it down here。好啦，去最尾喎 ，the last part。When the blood glucose level decrease， 當佢慢慢跌低嗰陣時 ，the insulin level also decrease。Reason 係啲乜嘢啊 ？Because 因為 low blood glucose level 啦嘛 ，it is not going to stimulate the production of insulin， 唔會再刺激 insulin 去 produce 㗎啦。Instead， 相反咯 ，it will stimulate production of glucagon。OK， 所以啦 ，when more glucagon is produced，it is going to inhibit 抑制咗呢個 production of insulin。OK，so that's all about this normal people, normal person. Alright. 好啦，然後咯 and then we look at type 1 diabetes, insulin dependent 嘅 type 1。咁你見到啦 ，despite 一個 increase in blood glucose level， 你會望到嘅就係 ，sorry 啊。So the blood glucose level increases. However， 佢嘅 blood insulin level 咧，其實係 remain very low， 甚至係 no 嘅，甚至係 no insulin 嘅。所以你見到啦，就係 increase in blood glucose level， 個 blood insulin level 係 lower 啦，或者係 shows little change。Okay, please underline this one and remember you to answer this in the answer， 得唔得？去答呢樣嘢啦。So the reason is because the pancreas can produce too little。或者係 cannot produce any insulin 嘅。And then the last one 就係講 type 2嘅 diabetes 咯。Type 2嗰就係 non-insulin dependent。So as you can see, these people 佢會有一個 higher 嘅 blood glucose level 啦。At the same time 佢嘅 insulin level 都係 very high 嘅喎。However, why is it not decreasing the blood glucose level？ 點解唔會降低個血糖水平嘅咧 ？The reason is 可以望一望翻先啦。佢同你講 increase in blood insulin level， 但係啦個 blood glucose level remains high 嘅 remains higher than normal 嘅係高於正常水平嘅。So the reason is because the body cells are insensitive. Okay, they are not sensitive to insulin, so therefore they are not going to convert the excess glucose into glycogen. Okay, 所以啦，佢哋嘅 glucose uptake 係 inefficient 㗎。Alright, so that's all for this video, and I'm going to talk about this one. You may choose to listen as well, or you may choose to skip this part. Alright, so because these two questions are rather simple, 相對簡單少少嘅。Alright, so yes, you're up to you. Alright, 好啦嚟到喎，我哋就會講啦。Paul and Tina, two people again，佢做咗一個 medical test 啦 ，for 一個 diabetes mellitus。OK， 有冇糖尿病咧 ？So they drink a glucose solution after fasting for 12 hours. You can see that fasting is necessary again， 係都有需要㗎。所以嘞喎，as you can see。Left hand side 我哋會見到 blood glucose level 啦 ，right hand side 你應該估到㗎啦，就係一個嘅 blood insulin level。Okay, so we're not sure if Paul or Tina is diabetic. 邊一個係有糖尿病嘅咧 ？So the first question, which one is diabetic? The answer is very simple, and the answer is Paul. 你會望到 Paul 呢一個㗎。Okay, because relatively, which one is not getting back to the normal blood glucose level? The answer is Paul.Okay, Paul 係冇翻一個正常水平㗎。Okay, and then which form of diabetes mellitus does 呢個 diabetic have？ 究竟 Paul 有嘅係邊一種 type 1 or type 2嘅 diabetes 咧 ？And the answer, if you have listened carefully from the above， 喺上面我聽得清清楚楚嘅話啦 ，this one is very easy. This one should be type 2， 係 type 2 because as you can see， 佢 increase in blood insulin level，however 佢嘅 blood glucose level 都係 remains high 啦，而且係 higher than 一個 normal level， 係高於正常水平㗎。So therefore, as you can see this time, you can say that the body cells in Paul is not sensitive to the insulin， 係對於 insulin 嚟講係唔敏感 ，not sensitive. So therefore, Paul is having type 2 diabetes. Okay, so that's all for this video, and I hope you can learn something. In the next video, I'm going to start chapter 19. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me in Teams or ask me anywhere. That's all. Bye bye.